With a Key and a Kite by Wobbly-Headed Doll Caper. Chapter 8. There are 10 things you need to know. Number 1. Aaron Burr hears third hand about a dinner party where Alexander Hamilton, a little drunk, had said, "How do I feel about the possibility of President Burr? Words fail me." Hamilton had then, according to report, let loose his power and released a wave of weary, mocking contempt upon the diners, tinged with enough derisive humor to make them all laugh. Number 2. The gossip came from a man known to associate with James Callender, a common acquaintance of both presidential candidate Thomas Jefferson and noted cuckold James Reynolds. Number 3. When Aaron Burr challenges Alexander Hamilton via letter, he does not mention the source of the report, nor the alleged dinner party. There is nothing Burr can bear worse than to be laughed at, so much so that he balks at even mentioning being made the butt of a joke. He challenges Hamilton instead on the grounds of general slander and of misuse of his powers. Number 4. Faced with this rather vague accusation, Hamilton freely admits his opinion of Burr, but denies both slander, on the grounds that it's all true, and misuse of his powers, on the grounds that he is a man of honor, and using one's powers on someone without consent is generally considered acceptable only in a declared war. Neither of them back down. Number 5. Hamilton tells Eliza nothing. He can barely bring himself to believe that a man as cautious as Aaron Burr challenged him at all, much less that he will fire. Their seconds will negotiate a peace, surely. Number 6. Their seconds do not negotiate a peace. Number 7. Alexander resolves to fire into the air as they row over the Hudson. He has become more religious since the death of his son. Murder is a sin. Burr has dined in his house. It's all so stupid. Number 8. When Alexander is shot, his shields fall. Everyone present feels his shock, his bewilderment, and everyone knows that he meant to fire above Burr's head, would never have shot Burr. Everyone knows this except Aaron Burr, who remains as immune to Alexander's powers as he was on the day they met. Number 9. Angelica drops her book and runs to Eliza's house before the boat is halfway across the Hudson. "He's been hurt," she tells Eliza, gasping. "He's coming home. It's bad." "Stay with me?" Eliza asks, her voice hollow. "Of course I will, of course." It takes a day for him to die, and by the end everyone in the street knows exactly how he suffered. Little Angelica Hamilton, a natural empath, is never the same again. Number 10. Eliza, with her power for survival, outlives everyone. She outlives Jefferson and Burr and her own children and grandchildren. She founds schools and teaches history, and she travels west and south as the United States expand. In 1900, she is back in New York and campaigning for women's suffrage. In 1960, she travels to Alabama and shakes the hand of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. She looks a spry 75, as she has looked for decades now. In 2001, she makes her first run for political office. She jokes that it took her this long to get enough life experience to feel equal to the task. By this time, she has had a couple more husbands, but she kept the Hamilton name. She speaks of him briefly when people ask, keeping her memories of him close, like treasured jewels. Not so many people ask these days. Alexander Hamilton never becomes president, but his wife does.